New details in the arrest of United Healthcare CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione reveal a homemade weapon. Police say Mangione used a ghost gun made from a 3D printer and assembled it from a kit purchased online. Mangione is currently being held in Pennsylvania after being denied bail. His next hearing is scheduled for December 30. Joining me now is our friend Chris Brown, president of Brady, an organization dedicated to reducing gun violence. So, Chris, I want to get right into this weapon used in the attack. What exactly is a ghost gun? What sets it apart from a typical firearm? Is it the materials used? Is it the anonymity of this gun? And do these differences make ghost guns more or less dangerous?
Thanks for having me on, Alex. Yes, ghost guns are unserialized, untraceable guns. They are showing up, or were showing up, until President Biden issued a rule regulating the sale of ghost guns in crime scenes across this country. Just to give an example, in 2017, there were 9 ghost guns recovered in crime scenes in Baltimore. In 2022, there were 518.
Oof.
So what we saw are these kits being sold because ghost guns, until President Biden passed this regulation regulating ghost guns, the sale of these kits, not fully finished firearms, but kits, which allowed people to assemble a gun, was not regulated. So people were buying these unserialized, untraceable guns with no background checks at all. President Biden changed that. That rule is in effect, but it's being litigated and is before the Supreme Court right now.
Oh, boy. So are they expensive, these kits? Are they hard to create? I mean, this gun was 3D printed. Can anyone just make one at home?
Well, the 3D blueprints were the subject of significant litigation. President Trump, in his first term, basically said to the Justice Department, we're not going to enjoin the access to 3D blueprints so that anyone could print a gun at home. Brady and other organizations stopped that from happening. And right now, you're only supposed to be able to access 3D blueprints if you have a special license from Department of Commerce. I think we need to look very carefully at that, though, Alex, because this particular shooter, all of the reports indicate that he actually accessed some of the designs to be able to print out parts of this firearm at home on a 3D printer, and other parts of the gun he assembled with a kit that he purchased apparently online. So all of this needs to be looked at very closely, and Congress needs to act to regulate these pieces. There's legislation pending right now to ensure that 3D blueprints are not easily obtained, that they're unlawful, you can't access them. And we also need to eliminate entirely any market for ghost guns. We need to pass the Untraceable Firearms Act, which would do just that.
But let me ask you, legislation that potentially would pass relative to ghost guns, would it be effective without a broader sense of legislation on gun regulations, on people being able to get them, with a license, different things? Would that have to all work in concert to have it be effective?
Really, we do want it to work in concert to be effective, Alex. I do want to give another shout out, though, to President Biden, who's issued more than 20 different executive orders relating to the buy, sale, and possession of firearms, including a rule by ATF, the Engaged in the Business rule, which basically requires that a background check be done on a gun sale, whether that's at a gun show or it's over the internet. But you're raising a really good point, Alex. President Biden went as far as he could go by executive action. President Trump has pledged to overturn every single one of these regulations. And without Congress acting, it puts our entire background check system at risk, which, by the way, we just did a poll on this, Alex. 80% of Americans across this country want an enhanced and better background check system. And they don't care whether that's for a fully finished firearm or ghost guns. They want to make sure that this entire system is regulated. And that includes also 74% of Trump voters. The only mandate that President Trump has going into this next term is to keep Americans safe, and we can only do that with better gun violence prevention laws and a system that actually really works.
I continue to be so impressed and grateful for your efforts, Chris Brown. Come see me anytime. Thank you so much. Keep on keeping on.